Lunch Break. We are making our own pizzas with Wrigleyville's new Detroit-style pizzeria, Union Full Board. Executive chef and partner Vince DiBattista is here to help us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so folks that don't know, and I'm kind of a newbie to this too, what is a Detroit-style pizza?
So Detroit-style pizza, it's a hybrid of Sicilian pizza. So it's similar to a focaccia dough. So it's nice and it's thick like deep dish pizza, except it's not heavy. It's light and fluffy, but it's crispy on the bottom. And you can see the cheese caramelizes around the corners, which is a signature, and it's finished with the sauce on top.
On top. Okay, well, we'll get started. We'll talk more about this because this is going to be your third location?
Yeah, well, 4 or 5 total, but yeah, the third doing Detroit-style pizza.
I love it. That's great. Okay, so what are we doing first?
So we're making the dough first.
Okay.
So basically, we're gonna mix the yeast in with the water here.
Okay.
And a little bit of sugar. Okay.
Oh, sugar in the dough
yeah,
too.
just a touch.
I like that.
And then we'll put the flour there.
Okay.
All right. And then I like to mix the salt
In with the dry goods.
And just kind of get that going there.
Okay.
And then mix this into there. And so the thing with Detroit-style pizza that makes it so light is that it has a high hydration level, which is the amount of water to flour.
Okay.
Which in, typical pizza, it might be around 50-60% of the recipe is flour versus water. But in Detroit-style, it's usually around 70 to 75.
Yeah, I could say it almost looks a little bit like a cake dough.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's harder to work with.
Yeah.
Because it's more moisture in there, but that results in a nice light product at the end.
And for us pizza novices, there's no flipping in the air either.
No flipping because the dough is too delicate to do that.
Yeah, that's good.
So
I like that.
basically you would get that mix, and if you're at home using a mixer with the hook attachment in maybe 4 or 5 minutes, you would mix it. If you're doing it by hand, you would knead it for about 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay, and then does it have to sit for a while?
Yeah, you'd have it sit for about an hour in a warm place covered, and then you'd be ready to work with it. The dough would be like this at that point, so it's nice and soft.
Doughy.
Yeah.
And you're using, what is this, an 8 by...
This is an 8 by 10. So the recipe you could do, these are pans that are actually manufactured in Detroit.
Got it.
And this is what you call in Detroit a small. They do usually 10 by 14 and 8 by 10, which would be small and large. So this is what would be a small. And you would put the dough in there.
Is there a special way to put it in, like so you get that a nice rise on the sides?
So what you have to do, you put it in there, and then you have to work from the middle out and get the air bubbles out.
Oh, okay.
And you actually want it to be flat all the way across the pan.
Okay.
So what puffs up on the side is just a result of the way it cooks, not the way the dough is actually in the pan.
Got it. So you don't have to do anything special about spreading it out or anything?
No,
okay.
But it's an even layer, and you work the air bubbles out. So this is the way, so you have an even layer there, and you have it spread out. And then what you have to do is you have to cover, and you have to actually let it proof in the pan for about 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
That's really the key with this dough, is managing that dough in the process. So this is a proof pan. You can see how much different it puffs up in there.
Yeah, it's got quite a bit fluffier already before you even cook it. Yeah,
so that gives you the height without the extra physical weight of dough, because it's air pockets.
Yeah,
and
we were talking
yeast rising and all that.
It looks a little like Chicago style because of the height, but it's so much more airy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's really what's the key and the great thing about this pizza, and what sort of blew my mind when I first tried it 7 years ago. Never heard of it, and my in-laws took me to Detroit, and they brought me to their favorite place. And I was excited to try it, but I had no preconceived notion of what it would be. And I've been doing pizza my whole life.
So another unique signature of this pizza is the way you layer it, correct?
Exactly. It's almost flipped around. So you do the cheese directly on top of the dough.
Okay.
And so you do put maybe just a touch more cheese on the edge.
I saw you doing that, okay.
Yeah.
That's where you get those nice, everyone fights for the edges, right? Now with this, you don't have to.
Right,
I'll get some.
So you do it's a blend of brick and mozzarella, which is signature Detroit thing to do, which is really nice. Mozzarella, the brick cheese is a nice buttery flavor.
Yeah.
So we pile it actually up with fresh spinach, because with the fresh spinach, when you cook it, it shrinks down. So yeah, we put a lot of fresh spinach on there.
So this is really why you have the high sides like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then fresh chopped garlic. And then mushrooms, just thinly sliced raw mushrooms. And all this is going to cook down in the oven. And then since none of those things are seasoned, we put
and then
a little bit of salt and pepper on there.
We want to make sure, because we're running out of time, you can see our finished pizzas over here, because they just look fantastic.
Yeah, so then we put the olive oil.
And then the cheese?
We put a little bit of ricotta on top of this one.
Perfect.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And then we'll put that in the oven like
Magic
that.
of TV, and voila, we've got all the beautiful ones here. Thanks so much for joining us. This is a lot of fun. And you can check out the full Union full board, and right below it, Tinker to Evers Lounge at 3473 North Clark in Wrigleyville. Of course, we're going to post the recipe on our website, WGNTV.com/midday. We'll be right back. Ooh, that looks great.